Hello and welcome, as it is the 22nd day of June 2019. Time for another update. This is a trading update. I'm kind of thinking, should I always have Bitcoin Cash on the exchange? This is to me why how long it takes coins to go from your own hardware wallet to be able to sell can be very important. If I were to go to Theta on my wallet, send it to an exchange like Binance, after I push the send button, put my password in and all that stuff from my own own possession, my own keys, it's approximately a 40, 50, 60-second wait, and I can sell it on the exchange. GoCoin or GoChain, Skycoin, Ripple, they're all coins that take a couple minutes or less. Coins like Qtum will take a few minutes, but not many. With Bitcoin Cash, 20 confirmations on Bittrex, 11 on Poloniex, and I think it's even more. I think it's even close to 40 or 30 on Binance. I've never sent Bitcoin Cash on Binance. And I don't know how many on Huobi either. I haven't sent. I've only ever sent Litecoin or Bitcoin way back when on that site. But as the market was going higher in here, I was like, okay, I got amazing trades available to buy both Litecoin and DGB. The only two things I'm trading Bitcoin Cash against. And right now it's 4 of 11 confirmations on Poloniex. It's going to be at least another half hour or close to it before I get all 11 confirmed. And the prices obviously went down. I'm going to show you how this reflects because as I was looking this, we'll show what the zero point 0.5 number looks like, even the 0.15. But well, I show zero point 0.5 where it is now at 46 and how it works on my spreadsheet. Right now, the Bitcoin Cash price, and this is where I put the, it's like 4,600. It was 4,700. He's even over 5,000 handles. And we'll just put DGB and Litecoin because those are the two we'll be trading us. DGB is now 133, so that's not good for me if I'm trying to buy, but it's only one extra Satoshi. And it's really a two-price system on the bid ask as it is anyway. And Litecoin a 1324. So therefore, we can see here that Litecoin DGB, or not Litecoin DGB, we're looking for Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash in here, so 9.6% move. This is going higher. That means the bigger coin, which is Bitcoin Cash in both cases, is doing better. This is all the way down to 3.5%. I'm not even going to trade that. And I want to get at least like 7-ish% or here so I could technically trade this in here. But when the price, I might just want to wait and see if I get a better price because if the price is worth 5,000 in here, this is what I was seeing. Like look at these large percentage moves that are available. And I'm selling for a 10. I got enough to sell for like what would be a 10% move, 11% move, which means I should be selling more at 19% if I'm able to get it. But the question is, how enthusiastic am I always having Bitcoin Cash on exchanges if something happens? As there goes 15, 20%. And then it's going to be a double factor in situations like this because it can work two ways. I'm looking, of course, to send BCH in here, and maybe I want to sell at this point. Well, if I have coins on there, that's what I get. I get 50, and it would have worked out to sell here because the price is obviously lower. I could be looking for buybacks now and that because of the big decline, especially if it goes down into here, and very well easily may. But the opposite, the other effect of it is where I works two ways. Is if I was normally going to sell here, and the coins don't arrive until here, and the price happens to be like at this point, then it works out better for me. I get a better trade value. So it can work good, it can work bad as far as it. And I did a lot of thinking with Bitcoin Cash and realizing, okay, it does have a problem with fees, at least on the way out. On the way in, on the way out, away into my, way out of exchanges, that is. It doesn't cost really anything at all, or hardly anything, to take it off of like your Trezor or any of those, or Nano Ledgers or any of those types of, when you're within the actual, when you control your own private keys. It doesn't cost much. But to get it off exchanges, it's 001, which works out to like 40 cents. So it's a little expensive. On Huobi, it's 10%, like 10 times less, so it's like 0001, so it's like 4 or 5 cents, which is like not much. But those are the things I'm looking for: speed and cost. Ethereum is so expensive to take off the stage. It's 0.01 there, so you're looking at like $4 or $3 or whatever the price is for Ethereum, 1% of the price of Ethereum. You have to take to pay off the exchange. No way, Jose. And its volatility isn't that good. But if I'm going to hold Bitcoin Cash, and I do, I want to be a holder of it. What would be the best thing? And I'm thinking I don't really want to trade it because of those bad purposes, like I do like with Sky and Theta with more volatile markets. I'd rather, because I'm going to hold it, I might as well trade it with Litecoin and DGB because I can at least, it's a profitable system to do. So I'm still not sure what I'm going to do. Do I want to keep them on exchanges? Because a lot of times I'd rather wouldn't. I know within daily volatility moves, it's awesome. Like what will happen is if assuming I did get the sell here, I sold at this, and then I would hold the Litecoin and DGB that I get. I'm not taking it off the exchange, not at 3 o'clock on the afternoon or whenever it is, because if something like this happens, I could instantly take those DGB and Litecoin that I bought, sell it on the market, and then buy Bitcoin Cash. And then same thing. I'm not going to withdraw the Bitcoin Cash, not yet, because if the markets go back up intraday and say 3 or 4 hours later, now my ratio is back to an 8, 9, 10% move, I can now flip that DGB, put it back, and then at the end of the day, just get ready to take it out. So uh, I it's I'm leaning. I still having a hard time wanting, especially for the fact that Bitcoin Cash has got a good amount. Because the amount that I'm depositing value wise compared to what I'm doing otherwise, it's not like 50 or $60. It's more than that. Against Litecoin anyway. I'm trading it at very high stakes. At least it's the highest stake trade that I got, along with Litecoin and uh, Bitcoin and DGB, as well as Litecoin. Of course, I own so much of it. I'm going to trade that most aggressively. Litecoin and Theta. Those ones I'm trading at the highest of stakes on my ratios. And within that, it means holding Bitcoin Cash. I'm holding a few $100 just for one trade. I don't really want to do that, even though it's still going to keep my percentage well under 2%, still, probably around it. I want to keep as close to 100% of my funds off the exchange. Okay, let's take a look. What's Bitcoin doing? I haven't checked that in like a few hours. 10.7, so it's hanging in there for the day. So some of the gainers and losers, we got Skycoin down, Commode down. Uh, Nothing really too big anymore. We got Neo's having a good day, of course. Bitcoin Cash, Tron, and there's a bunch of other ones doing good and bad that I'm not even looking at because I'm not even trading them and stuff like that. There's really only one coin that I look at that I don't trade, and that's Ethereum. So it's like that, and not only that, but I got two Ethereum crosses in here. Take a quick look at this as yeah, just some quick analysis on this. I'm not trading this either. As I mentioned, the cost for Ethereum is expensive to take it off. And well, it's fast to send on the wallet. I like that. I mean, if you send Ethereum, it's not going to take long at all. But again, to take it off, even off your hardware wallet, it's still it's like Bitcoin. It's I don't think it's that cheap. It's probably over $1 to send it there, especially when Ethereum does really really well. And also for wallets that for coins you like where the wallets are pretty high cost because people talk to me stuff like Chainlink. It's expensive to take that off of the exchange, especially if the price has a good push, like 3, 4, 5x Chainlink that is. But there could come a time where it's cheap to take off. Let's talk about Theta to me, why it's by far the number one coin in the world for my trading strategy. As it has a check mark amazingly for every single feature that I'm looking for. Every single one. Okay, so what are those things that I'm looking at? Well, number one, and probably the absolute most important one, is its long term prospects. Do I see it going up or going down? I could trade two coins together back and forth for like 2 years, and I can triple the amount I own of each coin just by doing what I do. However, if the markets go down 85, 90%, I'm still going to lose. And I'm looking for coins that are going to go up, realizing if they go sideways, back and forth, that's fine. That's totally fine. But I think Theta is going to work out for that. I wouldn't be surprised if this coin goes to about 100 to 1 ratio or 0.01. But even if it goes to 1,000 or 800 to 1 ratio, then that would be a still spectacular gains. So that's a check mark. The next one is volatility and for it to be high. And what I did earlier is I took like 20 different coins. Some other ones that I figured would be a little volatile. Some other ones that I figured would just like random, like Matic was one that came in. Just a whole bunch of coins that at least were born at of or from January 30th of last year or earlier, because that's when Binance was born, or that's when Theta was born. And Theta had one of the best results in the bear markets conditions over all of them. It was, in fact, it was second behind Litecoin as the second best loser, if you will, for not losing as much. And it was number two in volatility to Matic. So that's what I'm looking for when you have moves like this, and I shown earlier today what the 1 minute term time frame looked like. We'll probably even see it here on the five. Just a nice volatility. Of course, it hasn't crossed down here since I've been looking for it, which is fine. But you got the big moves that passes the test. Okay, the next one is the wallets and the ease of use on it, and I've already explained that before. I've shown it. But the Theta wallet using a key store file, knowing how to that you don't keep that file on your own computer, you put it on some sort of flash disk. You control your like a 12-word phrase. And what you do is that when you get that is you go on there, you put the 12-word phrase in, and then you try to recover that seed, put those words in. You'll notice you have to download another key store file, which is fine, and your account will come up. So, testing how to restore wallets with all of them, like regardless of the wallet, just a good idea to do. And when you start new wallets, what I like to do is put a very small amount in. How long did it take to get in there from the exchange? And then you send it back. So in Theta, when I take coins off of the exchange, off the wallet, and I send it to Binance, again, as I'm mentioning, once I do that, it's going to be 40, 50 seconds before they're available to sell. So that means that's a huge A plus as far as its wallet for wallet cost. For what? No, we'll get to cost in a bit. That's another good grade. All of them are good grades. But for sending coins in time, it's an A plus if it's 50 seconds. As far as costs are concerned, to take Theta off of Binance, it's zero point 0.1 Theta. And it used to be 28. So that's what you got to look at, like I mentioned with Chain. It's expensive, but maybe 3 months from now, 3 weeks from now, it'll go to the point where it's cheap, like a penny or two. But at zero point 0.1 Theta, that means it's like 120 Satoshi. And right now it's like 90 or so Satoshi, 92 Satoshi for a penny. So like barely over a penny to take it off. I can handle that. And to take it off of to take it off of your wallet on where you have it, especially if you had big, it's free. It's, especially if you had like your Theta before and you got free T fuel, because it's 0.501 T fuel to take it off the exchange. So you have a million. One T fuel will give you a million withdrawals. And right now, a T fuel isn't even is worth like maybe a penny or something. So it's free. It's free to take it off it. So we're passing the test there. A plus. Volatility is an A plus. The market conditions for where I think is going to go is an A plus. And if you want to talk about the whole woo-woo kind of stuff, Michelle White Dove, I think the psychic's name is. She does have a good track record for 10 years on mainstream TV. When listening to her, I feel as if I do believe all that type of stuff can be real. Yes, there are quote unquote psychics or mediums that are either fake or scams, or even for that matter, just not as good or have a hard time understanding how to do it. Have a have a low frequency read within spirit, so it's not that good, not that strong. Something like somebody's like a Tom Brady type football player versus that of say a player like Josh McCown. And if you've never heard of Josh McCown, he's not wasn't that good, but he was good enough to play. That's the whole point of what I'm saying with it. So she's saying thousands, but even if it goes to 50, 60, 100, oh my goodness, the profits that you can get from trading within this strategy. Come on, Bitcoin Cash, show me that you're recovering. I guess what's going to happen if this fails, I'm just going to have to keep it on there just pay the cost, pay the piper. When it comes time to sell, just do it. I don't want to keep. Okay, oh, it's lost. Take it off the exchange. Let's put it back to Trezor. Oh, let's bring it back, and it's uh, just the nasty, nasty part of that. But as a day trader, if you're able to catch on to these moves, and with something like Theta, if I was playing this on Theta and I see it going up and either on here, even on just this minute here at 14:03. Like I mentioned, it takes a minute to get there. So I'm going to have my funds available by 14:05, and it doesn't take me under. I can do it in under a minute, minute and a half. I can sell, buy the other one, I'm done. It's not that hard for me to do. So it would be a case where it would have worked out on that deal. But yeah, I can't count how many times where I would sell here because the numbers are right, even if I think it's got a good place where resistance might come in, and then it just keeps going higher, and I'm like, oh man, I would have got a better sale, or I'm Bitcoin cost averaging or ratio trade averaging, meaning I got a ratio goes to 100 to 120, and I sell. And then it's 128, 130, 135. I sell again. So now instead of selling around that 135 as my number, I'm going to have some sort of ratio at like 128, 120, or one something like that, which is all fine. I mean, it all works out because the math of the trading system that I talk about is that math will always work as long as 2 plus 2 will equal 4. My strategy works. Put it that way. And if you're interested in finding out about it, I'm not going to keep it in there for too long, but there's links from months ago where I teach how to trade the strategy. It's a lot of good information that's available. And the way I look at it is you could go out, buy a course, learn how to trade, and you're probably not going to get information as good as this, and you're probably going to have to pay for it. So just something to keep in mind. Uh, Anything else worth talking about? It doesn't look like Tron is 343. That's pretty. See, for me, and I'm noticing that Tron, it looks like, oh, this market is going down since my last trade. 38.60, 4% move. If it, I haven't had a Tron trade in like forever. I'll show you a quick look at it. June 12th. It's been 10 days. But while I'm thinking about it, there's something I wanted to talk about for a few days in ratio trading, which is the simple formula for sell amount. Because how much do you sell? I don't do it this way, but this is the safe way, the safest way. It's not as aggressive as what I do and what I would teach for people. But I'm going to teach this because I understand there's options available. Let's get rid of that red line so I don't see it. So, yeah, okay. So you got code A. I'm going to do the formula A, V, subtract B, V, divided by 2. That's basically how much you would trade in a ratio trade. AV stands for the coin that you're selling, the coin that's worth more. What is the value? V stands for value. So let's just assume that you had, and whether you put this in Bitcoin or dollars, it doesn't matter. So let's just assume you put this in Bitcoin. Let's say both of them were worth 0.10, but AV is experiencing a 20% gain right now, where this one here is at the same price, but just for easy math, that's what we're going to do. So let's assume that that is the differential of it. So we're just taking how much more is the higher one worth, and in this case, it would be 0.02. So now we're looking at 0.02 divided by 2, so half of that, and that would be 0.01. So what you would do is you would sell zero point zero 0.01 worth of AV, or A, and then you would buy whatever you can get with that trade on code B. And then it's going to be, this will now be worth 11, and this will be worth 11 again. So basically you're selling what you need to do so that the coins are always worth the same in value. I'm a fan. I think it's because it's easy to do, it's safe. I like the strategy, especially for those people that don't want to take as high of risks want to make sure, don't want to take any chances of overselling, because let's just show you an example of how I do it. As I mentioned, I'm waiting for those markets to get noticeably above 5%. So it's you're not going to see me trading anything for a 5.7% gain. It's going to be 6, 7, 8 or more. So let's just assume that I'm doing a 10% move. So if it's 10%, then I'm going to sell about 9% of what I got. It's so in the 5 to 10 number, it's always a little less. At 8%, I might sell 7.4%. If it's 6%, I might sell 5.7%. But if we're talking, okay, but if we're talking even better gains, let's just do the big ones. At 10%, now technically it's 9.09%. That's going to be the fair number on this. Now this is still aggressive numbers because you figure at 10%, it's going to work out to be selling 5% of what you own using that formula that I said. So it's aggressive enough even if I'm selling 7%, but no, I'm going to be going like 8 to 9% of what I own. If it's 15%, well, another way of calculating it is 15 divided by 115 is for easy value. So the most I can do in this aggressive strategy is 13%. So I'm going to be looking to do maybe between 11 and 12. If we have a 20% gain, well, now I can do 2 divided by 12, which is like 18 and something. So that's just something. 18.3, I don't, maybe somewhere around that area. Or 16, okay, excuse me, that's wrong. So it's 16%, so maybe you want to sell maybe about 14%. If you get, say, a 30% gain, well, again, we'll do this. So 3 divided by 13, and that's 23%. So I'm going to be looking to sell maybe close to 20. And then we're going to have situations where there's going to be even bigger ones. So how would I play a situation on the larger ones? Let's say we go 50% move. Let's just do, say, an 80, 150, and a 300% move. Holy shit if you get that, basically. Thank you. Amazing if you get those. But if you get a 50% move, well, now your portfolio, which is worth 1 unit, is worth 1.5. So that's a third, 33%. So I want to sell between 25 to 30%. If it goes up 80%, well, what's 8 divided by 18? 44. So let's just go, like, say, about 35%. And if we look at 80% on the other ratio, that means it's now 18 minus 10 over 2, which would be 4% of this ownership. So you'd sell 4 of 18. So you'd end up selling like 22%. So you see you're selling a lot less. But from all of the historical examples I go at doing this strategy that I talk about, I don't run into the problems of markets, of really devaluing a market that's going up and really overbuying the other coin, which, uh, again, most of the time this works doing this more aggressive sell. So at 150%, if I was to get a move of that nature, I could go like this and say, what's 1.5 divided by 2.5? It's divided by 1 point high number higher. So that's 60%. So at this point, I'm going to sell about half of what I own and make a very aggressive play. And if we get, well, this is a 4x move. So I know that I could do 3 divided by 4 for 75% is that's a really maximum oversell. So I can sell 65% of what I own and just make an extremely aggressive buy. And then using the same formula here, we would go 4 minus 1, which is 3, divided by 2, and that means you would do 1.5. So 1.5 into 4, you're not even selling half. You'd be selling 37.5%. But this system here, this mathematical formula here, ensures that after every trade, every everything's always worth the same every single time. So now you get situations where markets go way up, and you just get sell order. You sell over and over and over and over again. See, now what's going to happen within this strategy is you could have started off here, and both coins could have been worth $1,000. And then when you come up here, it could work out that the coin that you're selling is worth, say, 1245, and the coin that you've been buying is worth 2,250 because you've been overloading on that. And now, if this keeps going up, when you sell these coins that are worth less, you don't have as much ammunition to really make this number go much higher. So you have to be a little creative on how you want to do it. Sometimes selling it's an extremely nice, aggressive betting strategy. Because if you're right and you sell everything and then the market goes back down, you can get a fantastic buyback. And I mean, that's all part of your risk reward when you're making the trading strategy. But every single time I'm playing that historical data, playing that game, using the numbers that I've been doing, like a 15% move, I'm going to sell about 11, 12, 12 and a half or something. Oh, we're up 7, let's sell 6.4%. Just keep on doing it quick like that. I have been getting some fantastic results almost every single time. And I'm not having that many problems that I'm adjusting well and it works out later on when a market goes straight up because then maybe I'll have a couple situations where I sell kind of light, but then maybe a month, 3 months, 6 months goes by, even a couple 4 days. Oh, this is great because the other coin's now retracing back, and I'm able to get things back in order again. And yeah, that's it, I guess. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.